When disaster strikes in the Caribbean, employers are often among the hardest hit. As drivers of economic growth and job creation, they are highly vulnerable to impacts of climate hazards and health crises. The destruction caused by disaster events can halt business operations, eliminate employment, and increase the risk of poverty. A recent ILO study on the impact of Hurricane Irma on St. Martin estimates a 4.8% economic decline in 2017 and an 8.1% contraction in 2018, with job losses at around 1,300 or 18%, with a 2 to 3 year recovery term. The ILO also estimates that 9.9% of working hours in the Caribbean were lost during the second quarter of 2020 due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The magnitude is equivalent to a loss of 1.5 million full-time jobs. Governments can avoid such severe disruptions of economic activity and loss of assets, jobs, and incomes through adequate preparation and by closing the gaps on economic and labor market vulnerabilities. Through consultations with employers and workers' organizations, they can develop sound policies and plans for preparedness, adaptation, recovery, and resilience.
The pandemic has been a huge crisis, but it has also brought us together in a way that didn't happen before. Every single country has created task forces that have included private sector representation, and we are looking forward to this becoming a permanent feature of our governance and our attitude to development. The ILO needs to reaffirm the work it has been doing for decades in the region, engage and continue to engage the social partners, to engage the employers' organizations, the labor leadership and the labor organizations, because we have a good working relationship, to turn these COVID task forces that every country has set up into a formal and recognized means of governance, and not just a response to a crisis, but an understanding that there is a particular crisis now. But planning for the next one requires us to continue the dialogue and not just have an ad hoc approach.
I think one of the biggest opportunities coming out of COVID-19 is that it has exposed us to the importance of being more creative and exploring new ways of doing business. So it may mean that some of our businesses will have to change the way they operate, perhaps change the way they are structured, amend the types of services that they offer, types of products, amend, their distribution channels, and just their operations in terms of how we maintain efficiency under the current circumstances. Because one of the things that obviously has resulted in significant changes for us is the implementation of the protocols. So there are many health-related protocols as it relates to COVID-19, and that has impacted businesses in every function. And so it's just a matter of us now taking a look at what do we have and how can we reposition it.
The ILO in 2017 rolled out its business continuity program in conjunction with the Caribbean Employers Federation, with Tilak Singh and Associates, developed a 2-day workshop. The reason behind it was to help build organizational capacity and to promote the use of business continuity programs to help the organization remain alive even after a minor disaster. What happens if employer and employer organizations do not develop programs that will keep them in business, no matter what type of disaster they may face? They will go out of business. People are unemployed. And what business continuity planning does is say, look, we are going to help you stay in business. We are giving you the principles you need to develop within your business, whether it be a mom and pop shop, whether it be a 10 people organization, 20, 30 people organization. These are the things that you need to do to ensure that your organization will continue even after disruption.
The ILO Caribbean Resilience Project encourages an agile preparedness and response process that helps industries and labor markets to better cope with socio-economic shocks caused by crises. Taking this approach means prioritizing decent work, poverty eradication, and environmental sustainability to transition to green business practices, create green jobs, develop skills for green jobs, invest in eco-innovation, and adhere to environmental management and compliance. The project's capacity building framework seeks to improve how countries can transition persons from the informal to the formal economy and increase their access to sustainable employment, decent work, and other social protections by also strengthening facilitation mechanisms, especially for small and medium-sized sustainable enterprises.
We've been working with employers' organizations to really support and promote business resilience. We facilitated different engagement with the employers in these regions around business continuity planning. And we've also had discussions around transitioning to sustainable economies. And we've also highlighted the role of employers' organization in supporting the greening of enterprises. As far as the employers are concerned, they have a very critical role in terms of facilitating or supporting the resilience of enterprises. With COVID-19, it has really placed the issue of business resilience as at the core of business sustainability. And therefore, there has been a dedicated effort by employers' organizations to support their member enterprises in terms of promoting business resilience through business continuity planning or business continuity management.
Find out more about the ILO Caribbean Resilience Project at ilo.org/Caribbean.